Yeah.
I've been trying out for FIFA recently. No team's accepted me yet, but I think I could be a walk-on for, Argentina or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, probably Italy.
Yeah, I got Italian in me. I think they're already eliminated, though. They would have made it all the way if they just brought in Big George.
Well, let's go. Let's go show them some of the moves that Big George would have saved Italy from losing the finals.
Yeah, you got any beer?
Yeah, we got one upstairs.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a 12-pack.
Yeah. Well, give your speech, George.
Hey, yeah, this is Big George here. I'm trying out for, the FIFA. I want to play for one of, your teams. Maybe even Mexico. I drink the Modelo. You know. But yeah, we're playing some, soccer. You want to see some of my moves?
Yeah, of course, George.
Yeah, look at that kick. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Look at some of that footwork. Ooh. Oh, yeah, Yeah. Oh, yeah,
You're pretty good at that soccer stuff, George.
Yeah, you want to see me kick a goal between that right there?
Yeah, kick it through. There's no goalie, though, so you're kind of not really showing any real talent. But yeah, go ahead.
What's not talented about what you just saw? Well,
And
that's just a fluke.
well, George, now it's never gonna be out. Nobody's digging through all that shit to get that ball out. Come on, George. Okay, George, that was some talent right there.
Yeah, that
Maybe
was
you are FIFA material.
Yeah, that was just a fluke. You ready?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get it farther back. Look. Look at that skill. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also just a fluke.
That's just a fluke, George. I'm starting to think you might not be the next Messi. I think you're Messi with like a Y.
I get you girls' pants messy.
I don't think you're like Ronaldo. You're more like Ronald McDonald, though.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I ain't no fucking clown. Okay. Pretend right now it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
Score's tied. We got 5 seconds on the clock. Big George, ball just sitting there,
Yeah. The
Big George
the ball's sitting there. Nobody else is gonna go for it.
Yeah,
Just
they're all
you.
distracted by some sexy broad on the field. I mean, I am too. I'm like, not no. Oh, the ball. Yeah, it went through.
So what? You're gonna just hire some chick to like walk onto the field and distract the players?
Oh no, the chick's for me. She's having sex with me after I stick the score.
So you're just inviting a prostitute to the FIFA game?
Yeah, pretty much. It's the World Cup. I gotta get laid somehow.
Oh, is this your chilling couch, George?
That's my fucking couch.
You really taking him out here and having sex with him? You dirty fucking dog.
Yeah, them lot lizards would do anything for some quick cash.
Okay, so send a message to all the white chicks who like Latina guys.
They're fucking dirty dogs. Come be with Big George.
Well,
soccer.
George, come on. You're like 1% Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well work
But
with
I'm
that.
99% Italian, so fuck
So
off.
work with that though. Tap into your Spanish side.
I do got the Modelo.
Okay,
Hey.
George, that's something.
Hey, baby, you could come back to, my place and maybe, dribble my balls. Senorita. Yeah, it's Big George. Big league soccer, FIFA, you fucked up. Get Messi off the team, I get a little messy in my pants sometimes when, Because like I said earlier, so now, I've won the World Cup, the ladies are all like, oh, Big George!
George, run that shit back. You said it gets messy in your pants. What do you got, like a fucking Crohn's or something?
Well, I'm talking about, jizzing everywhere.
Oh.
It's just a little piss dribble.
I thought it meant you were like incompetent or, when you like, you kind of go in your pants.
Yeah, Big George is about to take a piss right here. No, I'm just kidding. Big George ain't gonna piss.
George, hit this fucking goal. Come on.
Yeah,
you're yapping.
And
You're fucking yapping more than you're doing any real soccer playing.
So now it's Big George. All that stands in front of Big George and world domination is a soccer ball and a goal. The crowd's all silent, all the players are off looking at each other's dicks or some homo shit. Soccer's for fags anyway, let's be honest.
Whoa, George, cool it now. You shouldn't be saying shit like that.
Look, I love gay people. We can all admit that.
George, just leave that shit for the family reunion, all right?
Yeah, I might not come around after I kick this, game-winning goal in the World Cup. They're gonna want all my money.
Yeah, I guess you're right, George.
Actually, wait. I could take all of their catalytic converters. Okay, yeah, I'm still coming. So now, the crowd's silent. All the players are off, twiddling their dicks. A little distracted. The ball's there. Big George is...
George, we're already like 2 minutes in and you have not even kicked the fucking ball. All this yapping, bro. Just kick the damn shit in the goal.
Well, remember whenever when you were a little kid and, Big George used to bring women into your room?
Yeah, why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, they was, smooshing me. I was paying, that's why, your bed sheets would be wet sometimes. When you were all like, Daddy, you left slime on my fucking...
So that was you. That was you who broke my fucking bed.
Yeah, that Lightning McQueen bed ain't that sturdy.
My dad's always got on me. He said, oh, you was jumping on the bed too much. It's like, no, this was fucking George fucking on my shit.
Yeah, Well, anyways, I know this guy, he lives in a warehouse. He's kind of a fucking loser. He's eating sea
But what does that
bass.
have to do with anything?
What are we doing again? Oh,
You're playing soccer, George. What do you got, fucking dementia or something?
Yeah,
You're
I don't
losing
have
your mind over
dementia.
here?
I don't have dementia.
Come on.
I don't even need you to hold my beer while I do this.
Okay, well, let's
So
see.
imagine this. Big George. It's the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
All the players are off twiddling dicks and looking at some fine broads in the crowd. Stadium. Silent. Ball by itself. There's the goal. If I kick this goal, I win the World Cup and I get all the pussy I could ever want. The fuck was that? And then it goes like this. Well, anyways, remember that one time whenever I was a kid? Okay, I'll get to the point.
Yeah, George. I feel like if you just win this World Cup, you're just going to pour alcohol in it.
Oh, no, I'm buying all the beer for myself. My team can fuck off. Yeah, I win the World Cup.
Bro, it didn't even go above the fucking thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. It can just roll and touch it, and Big George wins the World Cup. Come on, give it up for Big George.
Biggity George.
Where's my water? I mean, where's my beer?
I think we got you a Gatorade down there. That's
Yeah, I don't need Gatorade. Modelo's good for me. You got a bunch more?
He's not even a sponsor.
Yeah, this is my interview when I win the World Cup. Okay. Ask away, nephew.
So, how does it feel to have just won the World Cup?
I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm about to get all the ladies. I'm about to get all the alcohol I want. All of, my reproductive organs are at an all-time high,
Okay, nice. So what's the first thing you're going to do now that you won?
Well, I did, I'm in this country, I did hire some of the local ladies to, meet me back at the hotel.
Yeah.
I mean, to ask them to,
Okay. So...
These are edibles, by the way.
Now that you've won, are you thinking about retiring?
Well, what do you mean? I'm not retarded. What are you fucking talking about?
I mean, are you gonna stop doing soccer now?
Well, maybe for now until the next World Cup. Next time they need Big George to come in and save the day, and, all the ladies come down, they're all touching my penis. Like, right when I kicked that goal, a bunch of ladies jumped out of the crowd in bikinis and were touching my penis. You know, they handed me fresh beer. You know, I was smoking weed. My whole team's like, oh my God, he's a god. Why were we looking at each other's cocks? I'm like, yeah, you know, you gotta think about, you know, the bag, all the ladies, the money, the bust downs you're buying. The Hellcat.
So, now,
Can I get these edibles open?
I'm sorry, George, but I'm gonna have to ask some more serious questions.
Yeah, what are they?
Do you remember a certain Facebook post that you made calling Harry Styles, you know, the guy wearing a dress, you know, one of those derogatory terms?
Yeah, I called him a fag. So what? He is a fag. He's wearing a fucking dress. You don't see me wearing a dress. You know, I'm wearing the manliest thing ever. You see this white beater? You know, I ain't ashamed of that. You know, that's all that woke stuff. You know, he was in that one band, One Erection. There's 5 guys for one erection. That's pretty fucking gay, if you ask me.
Okay, so, it sounds like you watch a lot of Fox News.
What is Fox News? I want to watch that.
Okay, well, it just sounds like you're very right-winged.
I don't have fucking wings. Are you retarded? No.
So you're confirming that you're not right-winged, right?
You know, right wing, left wing, you know, I'll eat any chicken wing.
Okay.
Also, these are 500 milligrams. I'm about to be high as giraffe cock.
George, they don't test you before, you know, you get into sports?
They were desperate for someone this legendary to come in.
So they don't test for weed, but they test for steroids. What kind of fucking world do we live in?
That's what I'm saying. Big George, you know, he don't need roids. You know, he's already ripped. There's a 6-pack under all of this, you know.
I believe it. A 6-pack of beer.
I just took 600. Not 600. I just took 1,500 milligrams of edibles.
That's what I'm talking about, George. And you're washing it down with some fucking Modelo.
Yeah, you know. Oh, that's so good.
Oh, George, don't you have stomach problems?
Got a couple stomach ulcers. So what?
Like, it looks like your stomach has a butthole, George.
That's just a belly button. You ever heard of one? What? You want to come fuck me in my stomach, you fucking homo?
Oh, yeah, but you remember that one time we got that KFC and you had gravy dripping out of your belly button. We were making a joke like, oh, yeah, you're shitting out of your belly button.
Yeah, you know, that was fucking, you know, I wasn't shitting out of my belly button. In fact, it was gravy, and in fact, I bent down and tried to lick it out, but I couldn't, so I used my fingers, you know, I'm like, oh.
George, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's almost gay that you did that. Because if you think about it, you probably get cum in your belly button at least like a couple of times.
Oh, sometimes, you know, when she's riding me, I'm like, oh, get off, baby, you know, I ain't trying to have no baby. My wiener's sticking straight up, and it's like, yeah, it's like this, you know.
No, that actually does remind me.
You know, it's like this, and it's like, see a little bit of what you see. It's like, oh, see, and then, you know,
Okay.
Big George just tells her, oh, come on, lick it out.
That leads to my next question. So have you ever been, like, hitting it from the back, you know, chicks on top of you, and, like, you're trying to, like, pound that shit a little too hard, but, like, maybe you don't have enough inches, it slips out, and you just get jizz everywhere? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, you know, it's just shooting everywhere. You know, it's in my face. You know, it looks like, you know, my homeboy Paulie just nutted in my face.